classes will be off. So the first session will be introducing you to entrepreneurship, the role of entrepreneurship, introduction to entrepreneurship, the role of entrepreneurship for entrepreneurs in 21st century. And then the session 2 will be doing imagination, creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. The third session will be introduction to life complex entrepreneurial problem solving. At least we have to get ourselves acquainted to the practicalities of entrepreneurship, not only walking you through the theoretical aspects. Then we get to know of what design thinking is and as a problem-solving method. Once you become an entrepreneur, working as a, studying to become an entrepreneur, we have to make sure that we know about design thinking. Then we look at the marketing aspects, because it's not only about coming out with a product or service, it's about making sure that you have the right markets to be able to pick up, your stuff that you have come up with, and then know your customers. Because once you set up to come up to have a product or service, before you roll it out, you should have a target group in mind, whether it's for the children or for the elderly, for old age, etc. So we have to know about the customers and whether they will even accept our product or services that we are going to render. Then we have the session 6 that will take us through the model, business model, networking, entrepreneurship, because you can't do it alone. You need people to rally around, because they are the people who would also patronize our products. My name is already on your page. That's my name, then highlighted in red. And then we have the assistance of the ICD support team, etc. Their link is there. Your course rep has my number too, so if there are any pending issues, we'll get to know about it. The course overview, mainly, we are making sure that once we are churning out graduates, they wouldn't go and then all the time join the unemployment, trains that we have there. We have to make sure that aside the theoretical knowledge that we give them, they should be able to utilize it, because we are walking you through, let's say, about 6 or 7 courses, and each course has its content and then what it dictates are. So, and every individual also has or have, some likes for particular courses. So much as your interest is in an area, that is where you have to push your energies and try to come out. So when you think through of being an entrepreneur based on your IT, then you may decide. Okay, some of you are already working, I think, and some of you are already also into the entrepreneurial business, but getting this one will make you get the key concepts and know how to be able to differentiate yourself from the others that are found around. So basically, we are making sure that we open you up to what the happenings in the 21st century, because a lot of things are going on in terms of technology, in terms of way we do things, etc. All those are necessitated. So we want to make sure that we position you well, so that when you are done from here, you can find yourself something to do, not to wait for the white collar job to come. No. So the approach we're going to be utilizing this online, and then we'll be also meeting face to face based on the timetable you have, and then also we'll be sharing with you some short videos on what persists in the entrepreneurial area. So per the course, we've opened it up to the knowledge, the concept, the mindset that students should possess, etc., and then making sure that they are ready for to face the world after they have graduated. And then students should also be able to come out to be able to make sure they identify, their rights, abilities in terms of business opportunities that they have to look up to. So every day that you work in, work out, you try to identify some opportunities that you have to grab, because as entrepreneurs, that is what you have to look up to. Then the finances, how you'll be able to finance yourself, or how to be able to work around getting the right finances to help you. It's not all the time that you can fall on, going to the bank for loan. That is not even it. As an entrepreneur, your motive is not about going to the bank to pick loan to work on something. You start small and then you come big. That's how it is. So for you to know when to seek for finances and the assistance that you so need. Okay. And then also the time that you also have to make a decision as to the way or the direction you have to also go. These are all skills that you want to open you up with. So is there. We also look at the initiative and then how we're able to imagine or come out with a venture that we want to create, how to even work with people, so you have to be able to, you have to be a team player, a good communicator, etc. All those are needed. And for the assessment, I'm sure it's the old way of the approach that we use. So aside the MCQs that along the line we have, you come out with a 10 paper, which could be in a group form or individual form, presentations, forums, and then if there is opportunity to, we come out with a program to get experts of entrepreneurs, and then they also come on board. It could be online, and then they'll give us some needed information. So I've spoken about the individual and group assignments, and then in terms of plagiarism. Now, what we see is that most of the students, they go online and it's about copying. That is not it. I always say that now we are fortunate to be open up to a whole lot of information, and this is good enough. The essence of having these assistants in terms of the ChatGPTs and the other mode of approach in terms of our learning is not to just copy and then come and dump it for your faculty or your lecturer. It has given you an idea of how the whole solution to maybe the question that has been posed is. It's left with you to think around and, come out with your own version of what you can do. At least you have an idea. This is what has to be done. But just don't go and copy and come and done on it. Because now we have tools that can even bring you out in terms of doing that. And when it happens like that, you'll be marked down, you are not careful, you may trail the subject. That shouldn't be the case. Because there are some courses that are not to be filled. You have to be, at least you should get your 40 or your pass mark based on what the institution says, and then you walk away. That is it. So we have recommended tests, two of them major ones. We have Essentials of Entrepreneurship and Small Business. We have Neck and Mary. They are there. I have other ones too. Basically, these are all updated versions of what we have also here. And then these are recommended readings so that you can look up to. Any material that is, keen in talking about entrepreneurship, please, when you lay your hands on, read them, get to some understanding, and it will help you to improve your way of thinking with this course. We have 6 major areas that we're looking at. I'm coming, please. I hope you can hear me, please. Hello?
Yes, madam, we can hear you.
Yes, madam, we can hear you.
Yes, madam, we can hear you.
These are basically the 6 major areas we're looking at. Most of them are, since this is a distance, I've tried to merge some of the topics so that you can, pick a bit of each. But there are key areas that you mean: introduction to entrepreneur and the role of entrepreneurs in the 21st century, imagination, creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship, intro to life complex entrepreneurial problem solving, etc., through to business model and networking in entrepreneurship. So I've tried to condense some of the topics so that at least you can have, the important ones to help you to be well molded out. So this is that preparation for the model. The objectives and the goals to have been clearly spelled out, and then etc. Along the line, I want to know about you. So let's go through it. So the first section, everything I said will be put on your page for you. Okay, so don't worry. We have introduction to entrepreneurship, the role of entrepreneurs in the 21st century. That is for today. I've tried to, I tried to merge the 1 and 2, but I don't know. Let me see. Come on. We have, okay. So this one is for, the first one is the 2 I've tried to merge the regular. So no, I want to go to the, So today we are going to look at introduction to entrepreneurship, the role of entrepreneurship, entrepreneur in the 21st century. But after that, we have the various topics that we'll be dealing with. I've highlighted in red the section 2 that you look at, and then we have the third session, etc. But then since I said I've condensed that, the one is going to be broad, the business model, networking, etc. through to the end. The first one I've condensed is broad, so it may take us this week and next week. So It doesn't matter. We'll just try to find out a way around it and then tackle it. So, yes, so that's what we're going to start today. So this piece, this model we put on the page and then work around it. Do you have any questions here or any information that you want to need? We are moving straight to tackle work on the slides. The textbook is up. Let me even show you the text, some of the texts that I have. I'll put them on the page for you. We have this. Let me share this one. Yes, this is one of the textbooks that we have. It's big, quite big. I don't know. I'll just put it on the page so that entrepreneurship. Heidi and Nick, they are experts and good researchers and entrepreneurs. They have a whole textbook, a whole lot of information that you need. So I'll also put them there so that if there are any assistance in terms of reading, you can find that one out. And then we have, can you see this one too, please?
Yes, please.
Entrepreneurs and small business. That one
Yeah,
too
we can
is a
see.
big, yes, that's also a very good book. I'll also put it on the page. It's not about reading or it's about getting the relevance of information that you need. And mostly if there are signs that you want to read and then you feel the text is too big for you, there are tools that can help you to be able to read. AI Reader X is there. So when you just put it in there, it will read and then you listen. So these are ways of doing it. It's not about all the time sitting and doing the physical read. It's about section that you have. The most important thing is to download some of these apps and then to help you. AI Reader X. I don't know whether someone has used that before. There are other readers, but mostly I use the AI Reader X. Who has used that before? Hello? Hello?
Hello, Doc. We are with you.
What I'm saying is there are other AI tools that can guide us in terms of our reading. So you download some of them. You are IT people, so you rather should even show me the most recent ones. We have AI Reader X, I said you can use that. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Yes, so this is it. We are going to begin actual with the slides. Yeah. Any questions, any clarifications whilst I move on? Are we okay?
Yes, please.
Madam, we are fine.
This class is very interactive. Normally, when I handle class, I don't like classes that the faculty, the facilitator will talk and talk and talk. No, we need you to also be part so that if there are things that you can draw attention to, you we ask questions, you have to come up, to contribute. Either than that, it's going to be a dull class. I don't want it. I want it to be very interactive. Yes. So if I ask certain questions and you have the idea, you come out quickly and then you address it. Yes.
Yes, madam.
Okay, we will do so.
Thank you, sir. So our main businesses that we're taking class attendance, etc. You know about it all. I don't want us to go through this. Okay. So as part of the objectives, we have to identify why we have to know about entrepreneurship. In this 21st century, we find ourselves, and then who an entrepreneur is, etc. We try to distinguish between a person who is an entrepreneur and one who is not. And then we try to analyze why students must also take it up seriously in entrepreneurial, etc. So now, as part of what I want to know from you, this is the question we are going to look at. We spend some 2 minutes and we try to find out what is there. I know most of you have heard of entrepreneur. Those who are successful, those who have failed. From your own perspective, not looking at any information online, etc. Who do you think can be, termed an entrepreneur? Or how would you explain to someone who an entrepreneur is? Anyone can attempt. I said we have just 2 minutes for that, so we need about 3 versions of definitions for entrepreneur. Yes. Who is starting for us? Please raise your hand and then give us the insights. Hello. Who is
Hello.
attempting the question?
Hello,
Yes.
madam. So, entrepreneur is someone who
Do you
ventures into.
know, before you speak, do you know how to, are you Mr. Ampofo, right?
Yeah, yes, please.
So you, like someone has raised their hand, but so you speak. So anyone who also wants to come on board would also raise their hand. Yes,
Casting
Mr.
should
Ampofo.
follow. Casting's hand is up here.
He said, no. Okay, yes, I know. I can see. So you will do that. Let me write the names of all those who are contributing, please. 1 minute. I'm
My
coming. I'm just
definition is
1 minute. Please carry on. Carry on.
right. I mean, entrepreneur is anybody who ventures into multiple businesses. That's my own definition.
You say entrepreneur is someone who ventures into multiple businesses.
Exactly,
Okay.
madam.
And your name is, because you are going to find out whether we are right or wrong. Yes. Ampof.
Yes, please.
In my
Ampofo.
class, I say that you need to just justify. It's not about any wrong or right answer. We just will have to agree on it and move on. Yes. So thank you, Mr. Ampof. Yes. Next one is who? Please add your names. Okay. So that we can. Somebody has a hand up. We don't have the name there. So I don't know.
Hello,
0086.
madam.
Who is the 0086? This one.
Madam,
What's your name? I can't hear you.
it's David. David.
He's speaking, but we can't hear him. He has stopped. Ampofu, you are done, right? So lower your. Edward, let's hear you. 2 minutes is for you now. Edward.
Okay, madam. Yes, madam.
Mhm.
Okay, so an entrepreneur is someone who finds opportunity and works towards it to achieve a positive impact within the society.
He finds opportunity and works towards that opportunity. Okay. Then we have, let's take 1 or 2 more. Carson. There was somebody who's Carson. What's the name?
Yes, madam, my name is Castens.
Yes, Carson. Let's hear you.
In my own words, an entrepreneur is a person who starts and manages a business by using their own ideas and skills.
Okay, starts and manages by using their own ideas and skills. Yes, Carstens. Okay. Rogers, did you raise your hand?
Yes, please.
Yes. What did you want to say?
Okay, I would say an entrepreneur is someone who solves problem using business.
He solves problem using business. Fine.
Using the idea of
So what we're saying here is that, someone is saying that multiple, that's multiple businesses. One says 6 idea and then works towards the idea. It says starts and manages a business. So all is about, has some terminology or some of the, words that are needed in terms of defining who an entrepreneur is. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, one is about seizing the opportunity. One is about managing, that someone says. It's about starting. Once you have the idea, you need to start, etc. So all those adds up to make who an entrepreneur is. It will get to a time that when we come up to know some of the definitions, and you know that the person also has to assume some level of risk. Mr. Foster, I'll call you in the next question. Okay. So the person will have to also assume some level of risk before you can move on. Mr. Foster. Hello.
Yes, madam.
Look out for the
Yes, madam.
we look out for the meaning of entrepreneur. Check in 1 minute. Anyone can also try so that when you get the answer, you read so that we know whether the information we are receiving here is okay, is the right one. Hello. 1 minute.
Okay, madam.
Who has found it?
Yes, Madam V.
Madam.
It says an entrepreneur is someone who sees an opportunity or a problem, takes a financial risk, and build a new business from scratch to solve it.
Yes, so we can say that somebody who spots means identifying an opportunity. He tries to work around that opportunity, make sure the person, the entity is sustained, and then assumes risk. There are several definitions that will come. So now we know who an entrepreneur is. So it's not about just, it didn't say that the person will have to go and buy products and sell. So you should know that at this point, we have a difference between who a businessman is and who an entrepreneur is. Because trying to match the two, you realize that an entrepreneur is someone who spots opportunity, comes up with an idea, work it along until such time that it gets to a point that he's be able to come up with a product or service that the person has thought of. And then when we talk about a businessman is just identifying an opportunity whereby they see that maybe iPhones are well bought, and then they have their money, so they know that it's something that is trending. Most people are doing those things, so they would utilize their money, go and ship or buy a lot and come and trade in it. They are able to. Their position is that they work towards tried ideas or tried ventures. Yes, they wouldn't risk to build the business or entity, the idea from scratch. They will just go buy and then trade in it. They make their money and go. They realize that, let's say Samsung phones are not trading, they wouldn't go into that. No. So they work towards tried ventures. That's what they do. So that's the difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur. So at least now we know what an entrepreneur does. It's about working towards an idea. So let's move on. So we are told here that all human beings are entrepreneurs, meaning that from the time that we came into existence, we are an entrepreneur. Because if you read from history, we're told that when we have the people that were existing by then, what they used was to use the tree barks and leaves to cover themselves, to the extent that they went ahead to be able to come out to make food from the plants and the animals that they had around them. So not until civilization came, that was how human beings were living. It means that God, the Most High, put some idea in us in terms of what we can do. So every human being has an idea. It's creative enough to be able to work towards something. So what made us forget is that the sophistication of what people came up with. So I always say that in this part of our world here, what we see here is that because the Westerners have, pushed a lot of ideas on us, come up with their creative products for us. Now we have thrown away our creative tendencies and we are always following them. That is what happens, because growing up, we could see that Africans of this part of our world that we came up from, we could also come out with making things on our own. But the moment the Westerners came up to proliferate this part of our world with sophisticated things through their idea generations, we stopped, we halted, and we followed, their trend. So we are now working towards to re-wake the creative tendencies in us. We tackle it so that we all be up and doing. And now when you even go on the social medias, what you see is that lots of ideas are coming. They tell you is do it yourself. And most of these are ideas that, come up, and then they work towards it. It depends on what idea that you get that you want to work on. So formerly, I said we had taxis that we had to go stand by the roadside and pick. What happened? Now we had Uber, we have the Bolts, we have the Yango. All is about somebody's idea, trying to make sure that it makes things easier and it's acceptable by the society. The taxis were cars, Ubers are cars, Yangos are cars. But what happened? Somebody came up to develop an application whereby if you have a lot of stuff, you wouldn't carry it by the roadside and then get them to come and pick. Now you are in the comfort of your home. By using that application, you are able to get them to get to your end, at least at your gate, in your house, in your office, etc., to pick you to wherever you want to go, provided it's within the confines of what is stated by that application or that service. Yes. Even when you are in your room and you are hungry, now we have all these apps that are guiding us to be able to get food to eat through somebody's imagination, coming out to be creative and work towards that ideas. So as IT people, that is what we want you to do. You get the knowledge and then you work towards it such that you come up with ideas that will, serve a need within the society. That is what we want. And at the end of the day, you yourself will make money out of it. So when we talk of entrepreneur too, it's a word that is not an English word, it's not an African word, it's a French word. And it's the main, definition was about coming up with things, making things. I think in my other slides I have it. So, and then they are also change agents. That is what we mean. Every entrepreneur is a change agent. So that's what we have to look out for. Various, experts have come out to explain entrepreneurship in their version. There is one that catches my eye. Let me see where it is, and then let's talk about it. He's saying that entrepreneurs are change agents. They are change agents, and then they are they are economic builders, etc. Let me see. Most of these definitions, I've just put them out there so that you get to know what you have to seek for. Okay, let's carry on. Yes. So we have entrepreneurship, etc. We've known who an entrepreneur is. So when we talk of entrepreneurship, it is the act. And entrepreneur is the person. And then the enterprise is the business that the person brings up. So listen well. Entrepreneur is the person who comes out to build the idea and then grow that particular entity in the event of trying to make profits. And then when we talk of entrepreneurship, it's about the act of doing. Do you get it? Act of becoming an entrepreneur. So over he said, act of being an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship may result in establishing new organization or revitalizing a mature organization in response to perceived opportunity. So based on the opportunity that comes, you work through entrepreneurship and then you get it situated. And the enterprise is what we termed as organization. So it's the enterprise that you come up with when you come up to either a startup business or you partner with somebody, work towards the idea to grow it. Yes. So that is for the two: entrepreneurship, and enterprise. So the practical definition, let me see. A person who starts an entrepreneurship, practical definition of an entrepreneur, a person who starts an enterprise. So at least I've brought the definition here again. And then it's someone who is also able to look at situations and then try to make sure that he makes it better. It's not about destroying, but when he has an idea, he's able to see through to the end, know what how better or how best that particular service or product can serve, and then come out to be able to bring up something more accept in that era. Now we know that some years back, all we had was the computers that had a hunchback, that has a system unit sitting down there, and then you have to also utilize a floppy disk, etc., to operate with. I know most of you have seen that before. Hello? Hey. You are too quiet for my liking. Hello?
Yes,
We are here,
madam. We've
ma'am.
seen it before. Yeah.
Yes. And even the televisions that we are watching now, that we can easily watch on our phones, we realized that there was a hunchback TV that was placed there, etc. Initially, it was even black and white. Then we moved to the video and it became colored. And now we have worked towards the fact that now we have flash screens. Even now, we have projectors that can be utilized as televisions, provided you're able to connect it through the YouTube and then you flash it on the white wall. So that is how technology has taken us that far. Do you get it? So what we are trying to say is that as an IT person or somebody who is aspiring to be an entrepreneur in your area of specialization or anything that you are passionate to work on, because entrepreneurship goes beyond passion. You have to put more effort in it to get it done. So based on how you envisage and see, after reading a lot about it, should spur you on to do what you have to do. So all these have brought about changes in the way we do things, changes in the way we live, changes in the way we operate. That is what I mean. So we have to make sure, or we understand that as an entrepreneur, it's not just going to join the way things were done formally, but then you should be somebody who will be a change agent. That's what some the experts say. So you are the actor, and the act is entrepreneurship, and the enterprise is what you try to bring up as your organization or your business. In our country, on this part of our world, we have these are some old things that I picked together. We have some Ghanaians who are entrepreneurs, and they are also doing well in their area. We have the CEO of RLG, we have Amtrak Group, Manet, all these people are there. Now we have a lot. If I should even ask you to mention to me the recent ones, there are lots of them coming up. Do you get it? All these are entrepreneurs on their own, and they tell you the story of how they made it, etc. So all these people are there. Now we have recent ones that are coming up. As an entrepreneur, also, you should have some characteristics that you also operate in. You get it? Yes. Just as you have somebody who is a chorister, there are some characteristics that have to be with the person. So as an entrepreneur, there are some characteristics that you have to work with. Examples of some of, people who are also entrepreneurs in the western parts of our world, and they've made it. So just as I said, the characteristics that come up as an entrepreneur, some of these are based on the traits of the person. And when we talk of traits, they are biological, they are family prone. You get it from, please, 1 minute. Yes, so when we talk of entrepreneurial characteristics, we have some traits that are common to them. But when you talk of traits, they are picked behaviors picked from the family background. So some of the common ones that we have is someone who is confident, someone who feels a sense of ownership, able to communicate, passionate about learning, team player, and system-oriented. We also have the person must be dedicated, grateful, optimistic, gregarious, a leader by example, not afraid of risk or success. So once you step up to say that you want to be an entrepreneur, these are some of the traits that you need to assess yourself and see whether you have them. And if you don't have them, it means that you have to work towards getting most of the traits that you have. When we talk of confidence, it means that you are going to come up with your idea. But how confident are you with the idea? So whether you got it through a dream, or whether you read it through research, or you've seen happenings within a society that the idea came about, you need to be confident and work assiduously towards it. And then when we talk about communicating too, you shouldn't be afraid. You should be somebody who is open enough to get people to also understand your perspectives in terms of thoughts. Yes. And then all the time too, you should be somebody who is able to open up and ready to learn. Because some people are not the type who would easily accept the learning process. Yes, they come up with something and you critique it, and that's the end. And also dedication is key, because you need to be able to work out and make sure that your idea comes out as a product or a service. So these are some of the characteristics that you're talking about. Some qualities of also entrepreneurs, an extension of characteristics, and we have the qualities. And then the key one is self-confidence, and you have to be optimistic. Once you are confident, you have to be sure of what you're doing, and it's not all the time that what you're doing will be right. But then, much as the confidence is there, after reading, if you get the information that the direction you are going is all right, you are ready to rework and then get yourself in line again. You have to discipline, organize. I know most of the young ones that are coming up, their lack is the organization, and then getting some purpose, because most of the young ones that we see coming up, they are lacking some of these. But it's never too late to work around and learn about it, being disciplined, making sure that once there is opportunity, you seize it, because some people are not able to spot opportunities and see it. You, as an entrepreneur, you should be somebody who, amidst the crowd, be able to identify or see an opportunity that others may not see. That's what makes you an entrepreneur. And then you work towards that opportunity and make sure that it comes out as you have envisaged it. So these are some of the things. And then we have roles of entrepreneur, assuming risk, and then trying to be somebody who is ready to come up with new things, a decision maker, etc. All these work out to the way or the relevance of an entrepreneur. Please, if you have any question, you note it. When we get to a point that I stop, then we can look at that. These are
Okay, madam.
also that we look at in terms of entrepreneurship. I've mentioned about opportunity risk-taking, and risk-taking is key. When we talk about risk-taking, it's an aspect of risk. So as an entrepreneur, you need to be somebody who can absorb some level of risk for you to be sustained. If you are somebody who wouldn't venture into any risk, then you can't be an entrepreneur. Yes, you have to make sure that you may be working from the abstract, the unknown to know. So these are all risk-taking because you may not finally or fully know the outcome of what you're trying to do, the program you are writing, the services that you're going to render. But at the end of the day, someone will say there is light at the end of the tunnel. You are sure that you're going to come up with what you have envisaged to get. You need to be somebody who is a good planner. Planning means that you have to put things right, make sure that you have a plan of what you intend to do, get the needed information. As an entrepreneur, so you need to be somebody who can research, read ahead, and know the happenings. Because once you're an IT person and there is let's say you are so acquainted to, or you love to write programs, then it means that you need to be abreast with the recent programs that have been written, how they even went about it, and even the experts in programming, so that you can follow the person's course and make sure that whatever you are bringing out is something acceptable. Because when you sit in your small corner and think that you are working towards an idea in terms of web designing, and you come out, you realize that that design has been long done or that program has been long written, then you'll be stuck. So it is very, very informational and good when you read ahead, get to know the most recent things that are being done, so that whatever you bring out will be more acceptable. That's how come in even your project works, we tell you that you need to look at the most recent works and then you work towards it. So my next bit is, are entrepreneurs born or made? Let me take some 3 questions from the class. Are entrepreneurs born or made? We are 18 now, yes. If you tell me they are born, you justify. You tell me, etc., you justify. So, Mr. Mpofuji. Mr. Mpofu, let's say.
Entrepreneurs are made, they are not born.
So you justify it first. Why do you say they are just there?
They are made because from what you read, you get the idea of what you venture, and then you seek opportunities and invest in to become an entrepreneur. So it's not a matter of you being born with it. When you read and you get the exposure, you are able to venture into it and invest.
Mr. Ampofu is telling us that entrepreneurs are not born, they are made. We want a different aspect of it. Come, Kwame. Come. We want a different. Yes, Benjamin. Oh, Benjamin and Carson. Yes. Hello.
Okay, so my submission will be they are born, because initially in one of the slides that we were going through, I think there was someone that said that all humans are entrepreneurs. So since all humans are entrepreneurs, so far as you are born as a human, definitely you are an entrepreneur.
He says that they are he said that they are born. Is that what you said?
Yes, they are born.
You are saying they are born. Your name is what?
Ben.
Okay, and Ampofu says that they are made. Yes. Any other?
Okay, so madam, I'm back again. Customs.
Let's hear you.
So entrepreneurs, they are neither purely born or purely made. They are developed a combination of natural tendencies and learned capacities as well.
So, in a nutshell, Edward will
Leader,
come to you.
or purely made.
Either what?
They are neither purely born or purely made.
Okay, madam.
Okay. Who else? Who is
Okay,
coming on board?
Edward.
One more, and then
Edward.
you continue.
Edward.
Yes. Who is
Okay, madam.
speaking?
I think Edward.
Edward. Let's see.
Okay, madam. I think they are made because someone need education, need how to operate a business, how to come up the marketing strategy and all that to help the person to achieve whatever he is bringing into the market. So if you are born and you don't acquire certain knowledge to equip you to understand what you are bringing on board, you probably fail. So you need to acquire the knowledge. You need to know what and how to do things for you to penetrate into the market, for you to succeed. So basically, entrepreneurs, they are made.
Yeah, made. Okay. So at least we have heard one saying born, one saying made. So and the other was saying they are neither born or made. Or Customs, what did you say?
Exactly, that's what I said.
So when we take entrepreneurship and based on the definitions that we've been, opened up right now, we can say that currently, as we are sitting in class, we are training you or we are wakening up the entrepreneurship tendencies in you. So you are made. But then I also mentioned that along the line, you should possess certain characteristics or traits. Yes. So it's both ways. Okay. Some people are naturally born entrepreneurs. But then when they are educated and get to know the ways around it, that is when they're able to stand tall in the They are able to stand tall in the area of entrepreneurship. That's what we mean. So it's both ways. That's how it is. Because when you take only made, there may be certain, traits that you may not behold. So along the line, instead of getting 100% chances of being an entrepreneur, you get 70. But if you have, let's say, the 30 from home and you acquire the knowledge 70, it makes you whole and then it becomes, firm. So that's what we mean. So it both ways. They are born and then they are made at the same time. That is how it is. So now, currently, somebody may not be thinking entrepreneur, but when we are able to
Madam,
the
you get
person,
to realize, that if they are born, the percentage is less. So basically, the higher percentage is what we count on. So basically, they are made.
you can even thank you. But then the issue is that you need to have the push, the basis, and then you build on it. Okay. Because if you are made, you can even get to, let's say, 60%. And then you have, the traits 40. Naturally, even within our society environment, we see that there are some people who are so industrious. That is how they are. So the moment they're able to also acquire this knowledge in terms of entrepreneur to it, maybe they would stop their buying and selling and become so solid, and then eventually they stand tall. Just as you say, someone will pose the question, are leaders born or made? Some people naturally have those tendencies of leading, and when they learn the leadership, it makes them, more wholesome. Somebody may also learn it, but because that, trait is not so there, the person will have to get to a point, and that is it. That's what I'm saying, that you pick some traits and then you add the knowledge to it, and it makes you more perfect and more wholesome. Yes, we can debate this for hours on end. So let's move on. Thank you so much for the submissions. Then we have yes, I have the solution. So let's look at the merits and demerits of being entrepreneur. Close it up. The advantages and disadvantages of being entrepreneur. There are some advantages and some disadvantages of being entrepreneur. Can I get one advantage and one disadvantage before we get to students? I'm not saying go and read anyway. One disadvantage of entrepreneur and one advantage of being an entrepreneur. Yes, any member can. I need two people. One will take the advantage, one will take. Yes, Benis.
Okay, so I'm taking the disadvantage. With the disadvantage, there will be constant failure. So you just have to expect failures and then, yes.
Constant failure or
Yes.
some failure? Is it some failures or constant failure?
Like you try several times before you can break through. Some you just go through like just once. Others you try several times.
Okay, we'll note that. Yes, thank you, Benis. Aaron.
Okay, Doc. So one of the advantages is it gives flexibility and growth. So if you are an entrepreneur, nobody schedules your time for you. You have the time to do what you want.
Mhm.
Then as well, you are able to
Mhm.
do so many things and get the income out of the business that you are into.
Okay. Okay. Aaron is telling us that you have your time to yourself as an advantage and you are not, moved around by the timetabling of some people. Yes. There is one other, Mark. Yes, let's take Mark and then move on. Yes, Mr. Sam.
Okay, madam. I'll give one advantage and one disadvantage.
Okay, fine.
So, being an entrepreneur is a very high risk venture. Yeah, since you'll be needing a higher capital and you don't know the outcome, whether you succeed or you fail. And the advantage is that because it's high risk, it's also high rewarding. When you're able to go through with your project or whatever you are doing, the returns you get from what you did is very high, giving you a very profitable business or anything to start with. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. So at least all the answers that you have all given is in line with what we're trying to know. I think we have some here. Let's see. Okay. Yes. So these are some of the pros and cons of entrepreneurship. So it says having more control over your life. Yes, that is what Mr. Sam told us. So you yourself would be able to build and grow your business, and then you work at your time that you want to work. And one other also is that much as you are doing stuff on your own, it means that when the profit comes, you take it. When the risk comes, you take it. These are some of the disadvantages because you are working on your own and then you are sourcing for the finance to push that project. So when you make profits for you, when you make, minuses is also for you. And then we also have in terms of let me hit here, in terms of also the disadvantage it gets to a point that you get stuck in terms of coming up with ideas and you need the assistance of some people, but because it's solely you, it becomes a little difficult. That is also one disadvantage. A lot of advantages are that you're able to tell the direction which you want to go. You may come up with an idea and then if it's not working, you can easily turn around and then change it. So freedom to make your own decisions without being restricted is also part of it. That's it. So let's continue. So when we talk of the venture that I mentioned, the entrepreneur, the entrepreneurship, and then the venture that we're looking at, that's the enterprise. It means it's a process of when you have the idea, how you have to turn it around, work it around such that it will be accepted by the people that you are aiming to serve. So, and it has to do with a lot of, persistence, pushing yourself around so that at the end of the day, you're able to grow that particular entity and it becomes a very great service or product making venture for you. So when you want to venture into creation, something coming up with any enterprise, that is how you have to do it. You look at starting small and becoming big. But what we see mostly is that when we have people having the ideas, instead of growing it themselves, they push themselves to a larger place and then eventually they get crushed. There are instances where mistakenly too, they trade their ideas to bigger entities and then it's submerged. They take the idea from them. So there is a need to have the patience and turn your idea into that entity that you are seeking to get. Let's move on. Let's see this one. So we have told here that entrepreneurs also are key role models. That is what we've been told by research, and then based on the fact that the way they go about doing their things and then the the knowledge, energy, strength, and then the ability to also turn the ideas to become, good ventures for them is what people are looking at. When we talk of role models, it's not about having these people who term themselves to be stars parading around. No, they are persons who have done something substantial and then they have come up to earn good names for themselves. That's what we mean. So maybe in your area of expertise, you have programmers, you have web designers, you have network builders, you have data analysis. All these people are there. Maybe your interest is in data analysis or you have interest in data. So based on the course that you're doing in terms of data, you want to know about the key people who stand tall in data. And then you get to know that it could be even one of your faculty members or your lecturers who is also doing well in terms of data, etc. And then based on that, you try to get closer to that person to gain more knowledge, be inspired, and then push yourself along. That is what you mean. So you have to make sure we identify the right people and then make sure they are role models so that you can work towards, becoming successful and then good entrepreneurs. Yes. So let's move on. How entrepreneurship came about. We realized that a little history, I'm delving into a little history. We realized that things have turned around from, the 18th century, and then now we are seeing the 19th century has gone. We are now in the 21st century. And then realize that currently what we see is that a lot of small businesses are coming up. Why? Because of the entrepreneurial abilities or the tendencies or the knowledge that people have seen that can pull them up. So we have small firms coming up, small companies, small businesses that are coming up. All these businesses or ideas that we build, they add up to the bigger one. So research has been done, and the knowledge that has come out is that these small firms are able to feed to the bigger ones because it gets to a time that the ideas come because a small entity, in no time, realize that some of these bigger entities would like to, partner and work with some of these people. Ideas are not in only one person's head. There are several ones. So there is a need for people to always know that once you have thought of the idea, someone is doing it or someone has done it before or has started something and has ended somewhere. So there is a need to be able to really look at what has been done and what can be done so that after making those inferences, you're able to also come up to stand tall within your area. In organizations or corporate world, we have corporate entrepreneurs, persons in-house who are, have ideas that they can help build on. Some organizations embrace that. Some organizations don't. They want to remain where they are. They don't want any changes. But some organizations also corporate entities allow some of these entrepreneurs in-house so that they will be able to come up with different ideas of what they are doing and then help the entity to build along that direction. So it depends on the entity that you are building or how you want your enterprise to be or where you find yourself, because there are some persons naturally all the time they are thinking through ideas and sharing. So at any point in time, you meet them, you share an idea with you. You have those people like that. So if any such person finds himself or herself working in an entity that would not accept new ideas in terms of growth, new ways of doing things in terms of growth, they can't survive there. So that makes the person pull out and then be able to work on his or her own. These are what happens within our parts of the world. Yes, because there are some people who come up with ideas. In terms of idea development, they have a lot where they have their specialty. So the onus lies on whoever is leading to be able to understand that person's perspective and give that person a little room of freedom to operate. So that when the idea comes, it's a matter of you trying to know about it, accepting it, and helping it to be rolled out. Yes, so that is what you mean. And then we have what we term entrepreneurs inside. There are some people who also think and act entrepreneur within organizations. All boils down to what I was trying to say. So such people, you can't keep them in-house and then try to, shut those tendencies. It has to come up. Naturally, we are 80 here, we are 80 here. And if I should ask, how many of you are the kind that would want to operate on their own or doing your own thing because of your ideas that you have? Let's know about it. Do you have people here who would not want to conform to working for an entity, but then they would have had the idea, and they have built to grow their idea. Please honorably raise your hand and let's see. We want to learn from you. Anyone in our class like that? Let's know you, please. We want you to, help us. We are 80 here. Oh. Hello. Hello.
Hello, madam.
Hey.
Hello, madam.
So we are all working for people, not for ourselves.
Yes, madam. We are all working for people.
Please don't speak for all of them. They are 80 here. How do you know you are all
I'm working for someone.
So you are one. So we have 79 or 70. The rest, let's hear you. Don't mute yourself. If you come to class and you don't contribute, you go home not learning. So just come up and be honest. Yes. Let's know. It doesn't matter what you do. Yeah. Provided it's serving a need in the society, we are good to go. Hey.
I'm working for someone.
So basically,
yes.
we are all.
No, maybe if you break it down small for people to understand you more.
What I mean is that currently, what do you do? Are you doing your own stuff, or you are working under a company or whatever? Is that
Good
okay?
evening, madam.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity.
Who is speaking?
I'm
Okay,
for Roxanne.
Okay, let's hear you, Mr. Roxanne.
Okay, so madam, I'm working for the government and I operate my own business as well. So in a nutshell, we live in the community, a residential area where I realized there was no laundry, commercial laundry.
Laundry.
Yes,
Okay.
so I decided to set up one, and I think it's doing well.
Okay. Okay, that's fine, Sample. That is what I mean. You see, he has, added on in terms of not just relying on just one income. He has identified a need within his community and tried to come up with an idea of solving it. And even I should ask further questions. It goes to tell that there are some laundries you go, they wash for you, they dry, and they iron for you. And there are some others who would also want to just come and wash and take away. So these are so many ideas that you can bring on board. Are you getting me? Because just to talk about the laundry, I had a colleague who also came up with this idea, and then we were talking it. I said, you have to come up with a different way of doing yours, because there are several. You have some that are closer to you. So why don't you make it such that there are some people who may just want to come and wash because they may not have washing machines, and then take their stuff and go and dry up in the house. And he says, okay. I know some people do it, but mostly what happens is some people continue till the time that they iron it, and then you come take it away. So it's that chain of services that they offer. So maybe he or she would have to relook at it and see what the others are doing so that she can incorporate. These are ideas that can come about. So that's what I mean. Good. So just as we've heard from Mr. Roxon, you can't just say you are stuck with one income. Looking at the way the world is going and the demands, we have to make sure that we rethink and know how we can come about with new ideas to help us. Yes, so that is what we mean. So we have to, once you have an idea I said there are entities, organizations that embrace people coming up with new ideas to help. There are some that will not. For what reason, we are yet to know. Maybe they want to get, situate themselves into what they're doing and what they want to, have other ideas coming in. Yes. Okay, aside coming to work on your own as a startup, there are some entrepreneurs too that will buy the franchise. So it's either you are doing your sole thing, startup, sole entrepreneur, or you are buying a franchise. Franchise means that you have thought of the idea you want to do, but then you have come up, with a template or a flow chart as to how you want it to go. But when you go to the finance aspect, you realize that you are stuck with finance, but then you have seen some other company or other entity doing same in terms of your idea. So you would go out there and then you go and then rethink, decide with the people if they can lend you their trademark, that's a franchise. They give you their license and then you also work in this direction. Yeah. So if it happens like that, and then you would agree on the terms and then they also agree, that is when they have to make sure that you work in conformity to what they are doing. So they have to come and check your place of work, what you do, so that any product that comes out based on what you are doing is also in line with what exactly the mother company is doing. That's how come in no time you have some entities and they have several branches, across. Yes. But before someone will lend you the franchise, the person will have to make sure that you work in conformity with what you're doing. So the license that they give you is not forever. They can give you for a year to watch, because you have to monitor it, come and show you how they are doing their things, make sure you work in conformity, and later they leave you to work on your own. So if they gave it to you for a year, so in the duration of that year, they will monitor to be sure that you are not going to kill their business, because you are working under their identity. So they make sure that you're able to do that excellently, and then they can renew the license. If after 1 year they feel that you can't work in conformity with what they're doing, they have to make sure they revoke the license. That is how it works. So that is for the franchise. And then in terms of that, there are terms that you need to agree on, because they have in terms of proceeds, in terms of how it comes, you have to sit down and agree. And I always say that before any agreement, you have to get a legal person who can listen up for you, so that in the eventuality, you don't go and make any wrong decision and it will affect or cost you. So that is for the franchise. There is also the buying of a small business. Yes. That is, some entities may be folding up, but then it was working in line with what you did. Let's say there is an IT firm, they were into networking, and then eventually the person is wanting to fold up. So what happens is that you have to make sure that whatever the person is doing is in line with what you're doing. So you go sit with the person and see how whatever instruments the person had in terms of machines, what the person was doing, the facility, whether it was rented in terms of the costs or losses or whatever. And you feel that looking at it, you can buy it and then grow it. That is it. And as an entrepreneur, some people say that it is less risky than starting your own. Reason being that entity has existed before. So you would rather go and revive it, because the owner has, traded everything off to the extent that he has traded a name. That's how some companies they operate, and within a while they change the name. That is how they do it. So they make sure that the customers, once you are buying the business, if it's an IT networking entity, the person may have the customers already, etc. So you would have to make sure that you stand upright to be able to retain them and then add on more. So it depends on how you want to do it. So the agreements will be sealed off based on all these payments, and then the person lets it out to you. So some entrepreneurs also prefer that, because they feel that it's less risky. Everything has been set up already. It's a rented premises, but it has a guide. Everything has been set. All is for you to improve it and get more hands or more people to work with. You can decide that once. Please mute yourself. Once the person may have workers, you can decide to keep the workers or let them off, because it's a new company that is going to take it up. Yes, that's how it is. So buying small business is also there. And then we also have social entrepreneurs, people who would come up with new entities and then eventually let it out for people to work in. Those are the social entrepreneurs, and then they are fond of coming out to have several entities and getting people to work on them. So we also have corporation. Corporation means having several companies coming together under one umbrella. Maybe the company may be doing the same, they have their own ideas, they are doing the same. So it depends on what they intend to do. They come join forces. It can be 3 or 4 companies, let's say into IT, 3 or 4 companies into fashion, and then they come together under one umbrella and then they operate. But then that also comes with signing an agreement to know how much each is bringing on board, how much is expected in terms of the workforce, etc., who can inherit who at what point. So in some of these things, if it is not even a sole proprietor, that's a sole end thing that you are doing, you have to make sure that you have someone who takes over after you are no more. Or maybe it gets to a point that you want someone to take over because you are traveling to another country to settle. All these things are there. So irrespective of the fact that you are going to come up with the entity, whether you are married, you have children, etc. Even you are starting afresh with a partner, you have to make sure that the terms are clearly written. It could be a partnership that you're doing. So you make sure that you say things rightly, because human beings as we are, along the line, ideas may go up, things may change, everyone will come up with new ideas. So you have to make sure that that is how it is, and then you go on. Any questions at this time? Hello.
Hello, madam. Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
When you were talking about the franchise, the person having his own ideas, then he partners with a different company which has a similar idea with his own. Then he set up a business. Because of financial difficulty, they help the person to set up the business. But you were saying somewhere along the line, the person will change the name of the company to his own.
That one is not franchise. That one is not franchise. Talk about
okay.
one thing. I talk about franchise. I talk about small business. I talk about so which one are you talking about?
I think the franchise.
The franchise. Okay, let's get. Maybe you didn't get the understanding of the franchise on it.
So you said when the person have a similar the franchise, when the person has a similar business idea.
Speak.
And he goes to someone who has a similar idea with what the person is having, right?
When we talk about franchise, let me go back again. Franchise, you have an idea, and the idea, maybe I have an idea. I have a drinking, company. I have, a wine. I'm to winery, coming up with wine products, and then I have a way of trading it out. And then you realize that you also want to do the same thing, but then maybe in terms of starting and etc., it's becoming a challenge how to get the right people to patronize their product. So you realize that fine, you want to work under my name to gain, the substance before you go off, or better still, you want to partner because it's the same thing that you want to do, and then work. So what happens is that what I'll do is that I'll make sure that I sit with you, and then we come out to decide on certain terms. And then you are going to operate under my name too, because maybe you are looking at the fact that registering the company, getting your bankers is going to be a tall ladder. Fine. So what I'll do is that I'll hold your hand. Let's say it depends on how long you want to, or whatever idea you have, because you have to agree on certain terms. And then you trade with my name. I'll tell you this is how I've decorated my room. You are going to use the same colors as mine. Another cover. Okay. So let's say that it is Palace Place. So Palace Place that you are going to take the name Palace Place. And then the colors that Palace Place uses, pink and blue. It means you are going to also do pink and blue. Do you get it? So for a year, we sit and agree on certain terms, and then you work under my name. But what happens with some of these franchises that it gets to a time that some people those who join or pick hands and they work with the main bodies, it gets to a time that they want to, be smart. So after assessing you for a year, I'll say that no, come up with your own thing, and then the Palace Place reverses back to me. So maybe the contract I signed with you is for a year. So after a year, I take my Palace Place and then I work with, and then you come up with your own idea, whatever, and then go and do your thing somewhere. That is how it is. Because if you found utilizing the name Palace Place after the agreement has been abrogated, you'll be in trouble according to the law. Yeah, that's how it is. I hope we are clear here.
I'm good.
Thank you. Benis, your hand is up. I'll be finishing to 60, and then I think we have one. So I'll do about 60, whatever, and then we go. Benis, your question, and then I move on.
Okay, so madam, it's not actually a question. I'm adding more to the franchise.
Please add for me.
With the franchise, this company like Shell, they do it.
Shell, okay.
With that one, when you want to also join the fuel station like business, you talk to them. You work under their name, but it's not You are not from them. You are just using their name and everything about the shell company to or to do whatever you are doing. Okay. Apart from that one, there was a time I had a doctor friend, and then he wanted to open a attached to the doctrine he was doing. So he needed a license, and then looking at the vicinity, they have a lot of pharmacies, and he will not be getting this. So he has to talk to a friend who has a license but not using it, so he can use it to run in the area. So I think that's how the franchise kind of work.
Yes. Okay, so please let's solve our questions. I said write your questions, and when I get to a point that I halt, then we can take it off from there. Yes, so we also have the family type of business, enterprise, the family business. That is, it's owned by the family, etc. And then, so it depends on whoever began it. Maybe it's a father who started it, and then he lays it out to the children. But the mistake we made in our side of our part of the world is that the reason why most of the family business don't thrive is that when you're setting up a family business, you have to make sure that you start with your family, start with your children. You get it? Let them be involved. They know about the step-by-step move of that particular entity, so that it gets to a point that maybe you are old and then you want to sit back and let, pair whatever you have written. Maybe you have 5 children, all of them are part of the entity. You make sure that they know about the ins and outs and how the roadblocks, everything about it, so that when the person assumes that particular role, whichever your children, which of your children, it could be just one of them who has interest in it. Maybe the 4 will want to go their way. But that aside, you have a well-written document stating that much as you have one assuming the role, the rest also have shares in that particular company. So whoever the parents, whoever the family member who is doing that, etc., everything should be clearly stated. Do you get it? And you have to make sure that build it with the children, so that when they grow and they're assuming the responsibility, they know what it took to get to that level. But what we see here in this part of our world is that we come up to have a family business. Maybe we are trading into let's say upholstery, curtains. We are also trading. We are wood designers. We are doing it, but then none of them knows how you grew the company to where you've gotten to, and now you feel you are old. You want them to come and take over. They come and then you sit them on the seat of the MD. It doesn't work like that. The child or whoever is assuming the role should have known the duty of the security, the duty of the cleaner, how relevant the role is to that particular entity, etc. And then all the various skillful people who are working for that company, so that the person will be responsible enough to, take care of it. But then you think that a son or daughter has finished and you assume that person. So that is when you realize that it goes bad. So if it's a family business, very good enough, but make sure that with that, you have a document that is supporting which role, whatever, how everything should be built up, the percentage of whoever is part, and then we get to know about it. It's also another type. So it depends on what the person is doing and what you have stated on paper. Then we have, yes, so that is it. So continuation of the family business. Yes, I have this one. Let's go. Size of family business, so we have there. I'm coming. Yes, I've mentioned that. When you look at the other side of the Western world, most of these big names that we see, Marks and Spencer, Walmart, etc., all of them, Nike, all of them are family-owned businesses. Okay, so if even the family at a point partnered with another, everything is well documented there. It has to do with the family, and then they have stated clearly what role each has. Do you get it? And some of these companies, what they do is that if it's a Mensa, let's say the father who started it and their mother is a Mensa, Mr. and Mrs. Mensa, or whatever the name is. In law, you don't use Mr. and Mrs., you use the maiden names. So the Mensa family had come up with this idea of Palace Place. Now, he stated that the Mensa family has 5 children. The business lies with the 5 children, not their spouses. So if you're a spouse, you are just an onlooker, you are not part. If you are working there, you'll be paid as just an outsider who, contributes there. When it has to come to the decisions, it's the 5 siblings or 5 children of the Mensahs that take those decisions. And the Mensa can say that, fine, aside from that, every first child of the 5 siblings is also, a part of it, so that when your father is not there or your mother is not there, you assume the position. So they work it out and it is well documented there. But what happens is what we do in this part of our world is that when we come out to make this interesting, we are entrepreneurs, we are doing this, and what happens is we just leave everything blank, assuming that our children are going to be nice to themselves, their siblings are just. But as they grow, they assume differences, they come out to partner with different people, come out with a whole lot of ideologies, and in no time, these businesses collapse. But when it is clearly stated that it is only the 5 siblings or 5 children of the Mensahs that take the decision, we know the partners will come out with the ideas, but it won't sell. Yeah, it strictly lies with the direct children of those. So we have to make sure that we look at all these things in this part of our. If you are coming up with you're an entrepreneur, you want to come up with an enterprise, and then you want to assume it to be a family business, you have to work it in this angle. Either than that, your legacy will be drowned. Yes. So that is how it is. So let's go. We also have serial entrepreneurs who would also want to come up, have several businesses, and then try to let people in what they're doing. Well, in this part of our country too, we have some of these people, some of the big names, they are into so many things. They build this entity and leave it to the hands of managers, and then they monitor it from afar. They act as the leaders, yes. So when we talk of our entrepreneurship, it's about how we learn and do what we are learning about. So it's about the actual doing. It's not about learning, taking the knowledge, and then it enters the right ear, falls off in the left ear. No. You have to make sure that much as you have the idea, entrepreneurship idea, you have to make sure that you practice it, come out. Let us see something substantial, what you have come out with, so that we believe in what you are doing. Yes, so in terms of entrepreneurship too, let me see where I'll end. I'll end here, 65. We have to look at the land labor capital that we are working with, because these are the resources that we have. Land labor capital, and now we have human resource, because aside the land labor capital, if you have them, we need human beings to also come about. Now we also have technology resource, a lot of resources that abound in terms of technology. We have to make sure we utilize them to get the results that we are envisaging. So in terms of asking why some countries are richer than other African countries here, I don't know what answer we can give. Let's try to answer the question. Why is it that we have some countries that are wealthier than others? Looking at this part of our world, yes.
Madam, how they position themselves towards accepting or positioning their economy in the right direction? Positive minded people, taking in charge of the economy in the right direction, as compared to those of us, the Africans. How we think towards work, and how we think towards timing at the same time. It's poor as compared to the foreign, the international distance.
Okay,
countries.
thank you. Is it Mark who raised the hand?
Yes, madam.
Edward.
Okay, Mark. Thank you very much, sir. Let's listen to Mark too. Thank you.
Okay, madam. So what I also have to contribute is that the difference mainly, in my perspective, the ability to fully utilize the resources that a country have. For example, the human resources, the natural resources. If a country is able to utilize their resources very well, it practically makes them wealthy. Thank you.
Mark, so can you give us an example? Looking at our country, take our country as an example, and then come out with something.
Okay, so for example, Ghana, we have, we have good natural resources like, our forest and also natural resources, natural minerals. So for example, our natural resources are being taken over by foreign countries, which we get little to no, benefit of it. But if we are able to utilize our mineral resources very well, we can get a chunk of the benefit or money coming to our side, which we will use to develop the country and also the labor force in it. And, that's a little things I had to say.
Okay, thank you. We have Richard. Richard Kweku, your hand is up. After you, we have who?
Okay, madam.
Yes, let's hear you. After you, we
I
have
think
let's hear
I
you, please.
think I think the countries that are poor, they are afraid of taking risk. That is one. And the richest, they faced the reality and they take risk, they move ahead of it, and then gradually they will grow. But for the poor country, they know that, oh, this thing, if I do it, I'll fall. So I won't even try. And they will always, because the richest have tried it and they are producing it, they will rather go and buy it instead of they producing it. And the richest will still grow rich as the countries that are poor will also remain in poor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richard. Mustafa. Yes.
Okay,
Mustafa.
Doc, thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes,
I
sir.
was also to add up to the natural resources that my colleagues spoke about. So when you take, for instance, the Gulf countries, they are so blessed in oil. And because of that, they don't even have their soil, they don't even have good soil to produce crops and all that. But all they have is the oil. And they've made so much effort to produce much oil that even serves almost the whole world. So with the natural resources on our part of the world, for Ghana, for instance, if you are able to also make good use of our natural resources, it will also help us. And then secondly, to the natural resources, the countries that are poor, mostly foreigners operate the natural resources that they have.
Okay.
But if they take it upon themselves to own it as maybe as a country owned, it also helps them to become a wealthy country.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mustafa. Yes. There was a hand, Richard. Oh, did I see any Richard with the hand up?
Hello, madam.
Yes. Welcome.
Yeah. Okay, madam. So I think government initiatives and structures also count. So, for example, let's take the very developed countries. If you're so far as you are working, you'd pay tax. Yes. So they've put in structures or initiatives that will make sure that so far as you're a worker, the quota which needs to come from you so that the government can use it to develop the country will be gotten. Unlike our side where people choose whether or not to pay tax. So I think government structures and initiatives also makes the country wealthier or poorer.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, why, Michael, your hand is up again, or you just spoke?
Yes,
Michael,
madam.
you want to contribute? Okay.
Yeah,
You.
please. I'm looking at our place in Ghana. It's an attitude and the way we do our businesses and those things that is collapsed, because I'm an Italian trained. For here, most of the works here, most of the companies are family businesses. 90% of them. And even in Ghana right now, one of the biggest construction company is an Italian. It's a family business, right from the father to the son, and now it has gone to the grandson. So I think our character, attitude, and the way we think does not help us, especially in Africa, to make our businesses grow, because the evil is too much. The more you are putting in to grow, they will start mentioning name, tagging you. Either it's a ritual, blood money, or you are selling something to make those kind of things. And if we move out of this kind of attitude with the character, I think we should be able to perform, because we have all the resources to achieve.
Thank you, Mr. Dade. Okay. So that brings us to just as he mentioned that we are, he was going so emotional. We are evil, we are this one. But what happens is that when we look at some of these countries, looking at the Asians, okay, from infancy or from growth, they make you aware that, the country belongs to all of. They are nationalistic. That is how they look about in terms of governance and going of business. So you just can't go into their entities and misbehave. And then they grow their children to own everything in the company as their own. So that if they see anyone, let's say a foreigner or somebody misbehaving, they wouldn't take it easy with the person. So everybody would work towards the betterment of that particular entity. That is one trick. That's what he was trying to say. So that we all have positive mindsets, making sure that whatever is going wrong, maybe within my area, that's, the space that I have to make sure I protect it as my own, and then looking towards the bigger, parts of the country. But in this part of our world, people they've tried to come up to have some barriers. That's what's happening. So the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. What is that? Why is that? That is how come we want us to walk through this angle and know and understand some of these things. So once you find yourself well placed in those, upper parts, you can be able to inculcate some of these behaviors in some of our people, because it is getting worse by the day. That is what we're trying to say. So you make sure that whatever we are doing, we work towards a better future for ourselves and the country at large, so that those who come after us would enjoy, because they are futuristic and we are getting closer to our African countries and saying we want them now. You see, so whatever work they are doing, they are envisaging the next 10, 50 years, the next 10, 40 years. That's how they're seeing it. So if it's a family entity that I'm bringing up, I'm looking at the next 40 years. I may not even be alive, but my children, my grandchildren are going to benefit. And it's a name. What they live with the name, they want that name to stay and stay tall. So that's how they operate. But this part of our world, we are even not so much into that, because when you talk about even our entrepreneurs, even in this country, you don't see so much of, trying to see clearly the next, envisaging the next 50 years, whether those things that they are doing, that entity will thrive. The last time I was discussing and I said that we had this company, West African Tiles, and it was all over the place. They had a name. But what I learned, I may be wrong. I don't know, somebody may have the idea, but I'm sure that at least 60% I may be right. The children had to split the company because of, some of these ins of, people, the spouses, etc. But then if you are the originator, let's say the father and the mom that have, everything will have to be clearly stated now. So no neutral person will come up and neutralize what is there. That is what we fail to do. Getting the right documents in position and letting them know that this is how it's going to go. Because it gets to a time that you have to make your children or whoever people that you are going to leave whatever in hands. It's not about you dying. Maybe you can even decide to leave Ghana or whatever country and go and stay somewhere. But the work has to go on. So you have to make sure that everything has been well programmed, documented, legally supported, so that no one can misbehave. That is what it is. Okay. Just before I came to join, came on for us to have this class, I learned of this man, the Apostle Safo, who was a Ghanaian, who was coming out to manufacture cars, etc. Now, this is a man that has done so much, and he's well known. Do you get it? Only that, unfortunately, in this part of our world, you don't promote such, entrepreneurs, or how, the things are. Maybe we will not accept some of the ideologies, but the good things, you can pick it up and then polish it and make it well situated. But what happens is that now it looks as if, per the reading that I got, I may be wrong, the siblings are not in tune with, whoever is taking over, what is this, what is that. That is what I mean. Because we don't say that the whites can also have other children elsewhere. Only that they are not in tune with having more children, but they can have other children elsewhere. But then they have the right documentation of who takes what, how the whole thing has to go. So nobody can misbehave. That is how it is. Yes, because they can decide that this is even my entity. I've seen that my children are not doing well with it. I am lending out to people, or maybe some crops of people who can even manage it. That is their mindset. So they make sure that everything is well documented, so that you don't know that, you don't say that this is, I'm liked by my daddy, I'm liked by, so I'll take this. No, they don't do that. Documentations are key when it comes to some of these entrepreneurial things. We are moving on. Frimpong, is it or Rancy? Yes, Rancy.
Francie, yes, madam.
Hey, the
Madam,
first
good
time I'm
evening.
hearing the name. Yes, good evening. Let's hear you. All my years of teaching, I've not come across Rancy. Anyway.
Yes, it's a special name, madam.
Okay.
Madam, please, so in Ghana, I want to suggest in Ghana, when you want to establish some business, government will not support you. But when in the other countries, government can support you. Like how you make a Pastor Safo example like this. He has worked so many years. Government has not supported him because he has building cars and other things. He are doing more innovation, but there's no any government that will not come and support him. And it's only him who is doing that thing. So that's it. Will not move forward. And in Ghana, when you have money, you marry plenty. So when you marry plenty too, your business too, that's what the problem comes from. That's where the problem comes. Then they will start fighting about the property that you have. Then the children they will split. So no one will come and take care of the family business again. That's what's my idea about it, madam.
Thank you, Rancy. So that is what I was just highlighting, that much as you may have other children, make sure that there is proper documentation and they are aware. Make them aware. We are building. That's why I said build it with the children. Make them aware of what you're doing at every point in time so that they are aware. Do you get it? And if the right documentations were there, I don't think they will be fighting. You see, irrespective of having different mothers, etc., the children are from one source. So you make sure that everybody is well positioned, so that just about writing the will. But here, our fear is that when you write it, you die, or yes. And some of the women may also even take advantage and misbehave. But once you are very principled, yes, some of the women, most times that's what happens. At least rarely will you see some of the, although we have exceptional, rarely will you see some of the men, wanting to come and take over the woman's property. Even that, the court will even battle it. Because as a man, they are expecting you to stand tall. So what I'm saying is that much as you have built that legacy, make your children aware that this is what is this, and this is how I build. Bring them on board. Let them know each other. And then at a point, you have to arrange meetings. That is what we feel. We don't push them in. And then it gets to a point that I know that one of my children is a doctor, one is, whatever, come and take over. It doesn't work like that. You see, you are building with other staff, but make sure that your children are in there and also helping to grow the entity. Either than that, before you know, when you are no more, they'll even come with their partners and come and, mess the whole thing up. That's what I'm trying to say. So documentation is key. Legal documentation is key. Make them aware. This is what is going to happen. Yes. Everybody in the role. So you have meetings, get them involved. Even if you have the wives, whatever, let them know so that everybody is aware. It is not when you are no longer there that they're going to come up with, fictitious documentation to come and do what. Yes, that is what it is. Mark, your hand is up. Let me get to 70. Mark, note your question down and let's continue. When we get to the tail end, we would get it there. So aside the land labor capital, we have innovations and entrepreneurship that has come on board. So now we have to make sure that we are opened up in terms of how we can think through and get things better. I was discussing this with another class some time back, and I asked who is the originator of electric cars. So I made them to search. And when we searched, we realized that the idea of electric car has since existed in the 18th centuries. Yes. So there is an originator. Do you get it? Somebody does it. It gets to a point and the person halted. Then along the line, you get others coming on board, picking the idea and working from there. Please kindly search. I need one or two of you to search how the electric car, who is the originator of the electric cars, and then let's take it from there. I think it will be more better that way. Please kindly check for us. I'm taking attendance. Those who didn't come, make sure that the list is up to when I say I'm ending. That is the list I'm getting. Don't bring people in, they sign and they go off. Yes. Who is the originator of the electric cars? Let's tackle it and then. Hello. Who has the answer?
Hello, madam.
Please search.
Hello, madam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm seeing Ayos Jedlik. That's what I'm seeing.
You are seeing what? No, let's know what time he started, etc., etc., and then we take it from there. So summarize what is there and let's know.
So, madam, what I'm seeing is that he hasn't got a single inventor.
Okay.
But it started way back from the 19th century.
19th.
19th century, yes, please.
Which is Is it 18th or 9th? Because I know it's 18th.
1832.
18th century. 18th century.
28 to 32.
And then who was the originator? Let's know.
The 1832 was Robert Anderson.
And
then the 1828 was Anios Jedlik. He's a Hungarian. Yeah.
And then the latest.
The first.
And then which other?
Madam, please.
Madam, please. 1834, Thomas Davenport.
Who?
1834, Thomas Davenport.
And then after him, who else?
We have Thomas Parker, 1884, England.
1884. Okay, yes. And then who else? We want to rope it down.
Irons, Jacqueline. There is 1828.
Oh, we have gotten up.
1888.
88. After him.
Andres Flocking. A German engineer.
So in the 19th century, nobody worked on it.
19th century.
It is William Morris, USA, which is 1900.
1900. 1900. And the recent one, who brought it up? Recently, the 21st century, who did that?
It's Tesla.
Tesla.
1996 General Motors.
1996, General Motors.
Yes, madam.
And then we get to So after General Motors, nobody worked on it again until now. Is that what we mean?
No, 2000s. Is that Tesla?
Tesla.
Yes.
And then Tesla is the last person.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. All we are trying to say, or what I'm trying to make you understand, is that when it gets to entrepreneurship, others may have done it. There is nothing like reinventing the wheel. Others may have done it, but they made a stop at a particular point. So it lets to whoever has an idea, whoever has a desire in that direction to pick and really look at all that those have done and the current one and see how best they can also come with an improvement. So it's based on all this that Tesla was able to work along and come out with these electric cars. And I was even told we have the electric bikes. That one too came about and now it's in existence. So even with Tesla, I'm sure that others are also working assiduously to come up with new ways of even working with that his approach. So that is how entrepreneurship is like. You keep up, adding on, coming up with new inventions. It could be an extension, etc. And then the idea, the fact that you have not copied, although we have copiers, the fact that you have not copied, but come up with an aspect that makes whatever is already existing better. That makes you, because with that you can trade and have it, going more. I mentioned along the line also that we have, when the phone started coming, we had the BlackBerry and the Alcatels, etc. So I was asking the group, so do you even have BlackBerry now in existence? Do you have it? The BlackBerry.
Yeah, but it's not common.
It's
not common.
Yes.
They are there.
But at that time,
the old phones, yes, the old phones.
But what I'm saying is, at that time that phone started coming up, you realize that the BlackBerry was on top, just like the modern day iPhone. That was how it is, because we had the Nokias, the Alcatels, etc., coming up with their own, phone. But then the BlackBerry came to stand on top. Eventually, other phones have come. Now we have the iPhone, etc. taking over. Although you have the Samsung, we have the Nokia's coming out with their old version, etc. Now, what is trending is the iPhone. I don't know what about it, aside the pictures that it takes, etc. I don't know. But then maybe you can tell me more what iPhone does that the other phones that don't do. I'm not talking about the Timbertel one. I'm talking about the more sophisticated ones. You see, yes, we have the Apples, etc. All those are there. And all those are phones. They can call out, they can take pictures, they can send mails, etc. But then there are certain features that makes them different, that makes them stand tall. So as an entrepreneur, although your idea comes up, learn and know about things that others are doing similarly, and then make sure that your idea is going to stand tall amongst the many that is there, because that is what is going to make you sell. Yes. People came out with the phones, but then some people come out with softwares that will enhance the usage of the phone. And we have apps that are able to also come out to even mention your name when the person calls you. All are solving a need in a society. So your target group should inform what you intend to do at that time, at that point. That's why I said that in learning and having an idea, knowing what you want to do, you have to know about the customers, the targets, the people that you are targeting to be appreciating or buying into that idea that you have. You have to spell them out clearly and know that, sure, they are going to accept what you have. So that is that. So I said aside the land labor capital, we have innovation, entrepreneurship, and then you have to understand that they add to make the wealth. Yeah. Closes. Yeah. There are some that are just extension of some of our discussions, so I wouldn't. So why entrepreneurship education is key? You have to make sure that we try to let the students. Please mute yourself. Who is that? Yeah. We have to make sure that we have our young students or already working students be able to come up with a skill set of being an entrepreneur, able to come up to understand what is already existing, the relevance of entrepreneurship, and then knowing that now students need not to be limited with all these ideas that are coming up. We need to be sure that we are able to be sustained in this world. Yeah. This is an example of a rival coach that had to say about legendary Alabama football coach, etc. Yeah. Said he can take his team and beat your team, or he can take your team and beat his team. So as a coach or somebody who is trying to make sure that you come out with work on your team or your group, when you are assigned the person, he's able to come out to make a difference. Yes. Just as you realize that Ghanaians, when they made their first match, I learned they changed the coach, etc. And a whole lot of talking came around, and eventually they went and then they managed to score one. Now they are all over the place jubilating. That is how it is. So it's risk that you're taking. Either you win or you lose, or getting the person to be there. You should have the mindset of an entrepreneur that you are going in there. If it doesn't work out, then you have a plan, another plan. So mostly what happens with entrepreneurship, when you come up with an idea, you work on it, etc., and there is a hitch, quickly you have to rethink and know how best you can come out of that hitch, and then work around it to get something better out. Yes. So these are the ideas that we can pass with you now. So I was asking, how would you differentiate between traditional entrepreneurship and student entrepreneurship? Let's look at this, and then we end with this question. I need an answer from you. If you have any questions, I'm going to open the thing and then we'll take it from there. How would you differentiate between traditional entrepreneurship and student entrepreneurship? Please, let's hear from you. Anyone can address it. Okay. Let's get it. Who is answering it first? How would you differentiate between traditional entrepreneurship and student entrepreneurship? Yes. Who is trying that for us? After which we take questions and we wrap off. Yes. Traditional entrepreneurship and student entrepreneurship. Who is starting it for us? Hello? Hey, where are my
So,
people?
yes, let me take it, please.
Yes.
So, traditional entrepreneurship will be the people on the field, those in the entrepreneurial business, while the student one are those combining entrepreneurship with schooling, see, as a side job to make ends meet. That's my definition.
Explain again. No.
I mean, traditional entrepreneurship are those who are on the field of entrepreneur, those in the engaging in the business, trying to bring ideas in solving issues. Whilst the student entrepreneurs are students who combine studies with business, trying to make ends meet.
Okay. Any other? Thank you very much.
So, madam.
Yes, sir.
So I can say that with traditional entrepreneurship, the people go in or the person goes in with the motivation or with the aim of maximizing profit or expanding market. While with the student entrepreneurship, the person's aim or motivation is self-growth as in learning or just to gain field experience.
Okay. Okay. Is that Michael who spoke or
Elvis?
Elvis? Okay. Thank you, Elvis. Michael, your hand is up. Let's see, and then we'll discuss.
Yes, mother. I think the traditional one is to make money. You make some profit or make some money. But a student entrepreneur, as my colleague said, is to gain some experience and develop yourself for a skill.
Yeah. So all the ideas that you are giving are right. When it has to do with students, please, the name, the person who has put dots there as a name, I'm picking my information and I'll dot it so that I know that your name is dots. That is what I mean. I said come with your full name and then your index number. So a student entrepreneur, it's somebody who has the idea and then try to mostly focus on the people that are around his networks to be able to grow that particular entity or make sure that it survives. Mostly when the student is an entrepreneur, they try to go low, very low on the risk. They want to come up with ideas that they can build on for the colleagues or people on campus to accept in terms of the technology that exists. And then they try to also experiment the idea on campus so that they make sure that, fine, this idea, the people are in-house or my team or my colleagues are accepting it, as well as some of my, other staff. So in opening up and making it big, there is a surety that it's going to come out well. So their primary focus is that they come out to make sure that they get a skill and then try to test their idea with, the society in which they find themselves, that's the campus. And then they try to test and experiment what their idea is and then make sure that they can be relied on when they step out. And then there's a way that in terms of other things they can stand tall. That's how come some of these colleagues also would want to join competitions and be sure that they come out accepting it and they can get some finance. Yes, because lots of companies, entities, even some of the universities, they come up with competition to get students on board so that whoever comes out tall or whoever wins, they are able to come up to commit in terms of supporting the idea that the person or the team is able to build up so that they'll be able to stand tall in terms of what they're doing. That's how can we have some competitions being organized by alumni networks and some incubation houses or entrepreneurship hubs, and then they help to grow the ideas that they have. So that is for the difference. Unlike the traditional one that their focus is they step out, they come out with the idea, and main aim is that they're looking at gaining the profits, and then make sure they grow their entity by picking up some finances from some companies, and then they come out to work on that. Yeah. Any questions? I think we'll halt here. Any questions that you have? Let me highlight it red so that in the next class I'll see. Yes, any questions or insight that you want to, so that we'll get away with this one. Yeah. I'm waiting. Oh. If you have contributions, so you can come up with not only questions. There are some examples that you may have that will benefit all of us. Please share, and then let's be knowledgeable about it. Yes. Hey, what is happening?
Hello, madam.
Yes, sir. Mr. Ampof.
Yes. Please, I would want to know if in my community there are transport challenges, and then I get cars, let's say 2
Please,
taxis.
hold on. All of us, please listen, because we will take the answers from the class first. Yes, Mr. Ampof, carry on.
So what I'm saying is, if there's a challenge of transport in my area and I'm trying to get 2 taxis conveying people in and out, can I be classified as an entrepreneur?
Yes.
For the mere fact that I didn't bring, let's say the Uber, for instance, I wasn't the developer of the system, the Uber system app. But I have cars and I give out to drivers to make profit. Am I also an entrepreneur?
Class, Mr. Ampof is asking, is he also an entrepreneur? Hello?
Yes, please.
Yes, madam.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's an
please.
entrepreneur. Please, when you say yes, justify. When you say no, justify.
So I think he becomes an entrepreneur because there's a challenge of transportation crisis and unemployment in the community he finds himself. So he's solving 2 problems at the same time. He's creating aiding the people in the community to have a smooth transport to their various destinations.
Okay, thank you. So Samuel is telling us that after Samuel Ranis, let me finish. So he's telling us that he is an entrepreneur because of these reasons. Yes, okay, Ranis, let's hear you. Rancy. Rancy, your hand is up. He's not speaking. Franklina.
Okay, so madam, I would say he's a businessman, but not an entrepreneur. Because for the characteristics of the entrepreneur, you should start your innovation from the scratch. But in this case, someone has already built the Uber app, and you are using the person's app to create a business in order to solve people's problems, like conveying people from your community where they are facing transport challenges. So I would say he's a businessman, but not an entrepreneur.
Yeah. That is what Franklina is saying. Any other? Thank you. Any other? A hand is up. Is it Franklina's hand? Please, let's solve this before we go. We need a solution to this one. Hello? Who is next on the line? Hey. Why are you not speaking? We are 76, 75 here now, please. Is he an entrepreneur or not?
Okay, madam. I think I will support what Franklina said. He is a businessman because entrepreneur must start everything from scratch, as the definition said. the person starts a business and value, know how there's risk, go through the risk before you become a successful. But this one, there is someone who has already laid the foundation already. So he is coming to build on the foundation by buying the cars, lending it to people to help solve the problem. So this one, I think it is a business. The person is into business. So he is a business person, I may say. Thank you.
Before I come in, let's look out for the differences between entrepreneur and a businessman. Hurry up.
Madam, per my knowledge, I think a business person is someone who buys and sells. And
Have you
entrepreneur,
checked? Okay. Please check online as well, please. We want to get, yes,
entrepreneur is a person who starts the whole enterprise from the scratch. Thank you.
Okay, Rachel, we have heard you, but I want us to go online and get the right answer and come.
Okay, so madam, a businessman and an entrepreneur are both involved in business, but then they differ in approach, goals, and mindset. For instance, a businessman runs an existing business or model, but an entrepreneur creates a business or product or an idea. A businessman focuses on managing and
Don't
growing.
read to us. We want to get the answer right. So you just get it. Whether based on what you are reading, it makes him an entrepreneur or a businessman.
Okay, madam. Okay, madam. A businessman enters an established market to run a proven model, while an entrepreneur creates a new market with an innovative ideas. Yeah, that is it. It differentiates.
Yes. So
Hello,
in this, we
madam.
are trying to find an answer to the question. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Edo. Yes. Who is calling? We can't hear. If you
John,
don't read the answer, I don't see. Who? John. Okay, John. After John,
Okay,
Andrews, yes.
so with Ampofo's submission, I think he's an entrepreneur because an entrepreneur identifies a problem and solves it. That is what he is trying to do. Because in the community, he knows that is their challenge. And two, he's creating a business too.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So he's an entrepreneur. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. John. Andrews. After Andrews, we have Yanis, and then we go. Oh, David has a hand
Hello,
up.
madam.
Okay. Yes,
Hello, madam.
David. Who is speaking?
Hello. Please, it's Andrew.
Okay, Andrew. After Andrew, we have David.
So, madam, please, I think the person is an entrepreneur because at the first place, you identifying an opportunity and taking calculated risk. That one alone shows that you are an entrepreneur.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, we have Andrews, you are done speaking, so we have David. Oh,
yes, please.
Okay, and Andrews is done speaking. Okay. Owusu, and then we have David. David raised a hand, but it went off.
Hello,
Okay.
madam.
Yes, sir. Mr. Owusu.
I'm Owusu, sir.
Okay.
So,
Yes,
a business person, or let me say a businessman, not an entrepreneur, in a sense that he is working a proven part already done by someone who is the entrepreneur. So the entrepreneur is the owner of the platform on which he is operating at the moment. Just as is it Uber or any of these ride-hailing apps platform as an example. So he's a business person, not an entrepreneur.
Okay. Any other? John. Mr. John.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, I would want to buttress what my colleague just said. He says he's a businessman. That wouldn't be the case because here lies the case. He's identifying the problem. An entrepreneur always identifies a problem and brings an initiative that supports or that solves
a problem. So if that is what Ampoko has, yes, identified that transport system within their community is a problem, then he has identified the problem. Then the next move is buying the cars. Or probably maybe within the area or within the community, they have bad road networks. So this type of vehicles wouldn't want to come there. But since he has identified and want to bring some vehicles and give out to people to work and pay for, then he has identified and trying to solve them. And that is what an entrepreneur does.
Okay. So the first
Thank you.
point we are trying to talk about is you said he's identified an idea. Good. Okay. So that makes him entrepreneur. Let's go on. And then he's trying to solve a problem. Good. So let's hear from two people who have raised their hands and then we wrap up. It's almost time. Yes, Michael. After Michael, Mr.
Yes,
Osuasa,
madam.
were you the one who spoke?
Madam, I think he is an entrepreneur because I had the question like this, that it is his community and he have seen that there's a problem of transportation and he have created an Uber app, buy a car to solve the problem there. So he's an entrepreneur. Maybe if I didn't hear the question well, that there's an Uber app that he has bought car there. But if as an IT, he has created let's say an Uber app called Ampofo, then he has bought a car to that area to convey people to their various destinations. Then he is an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Madam, please let me correct what he said. He is not an entrepreneur because the vehicle, the person who come up with the idea of creating a vehicle is already there. So he's a businessman. He identified a problem and he works on it. So that one is a business. So you see a problem and you work on it. The platform has already been established, which is there's already a vehicle, but your community, you don't have enough vehicles. So you identify the problem and you work on it. So in this case, you bring in vehicles and you become a businessman, not an entrepreneur.
So then if you go and pick a rubber raw material from, let's say, Axim there, and you create a bucket or a rubber bag, is it because God have given us the raw material? Are you not entrepreneur or you are a businessman?
This is a modify.
No,
You modified it.
Please take your time and let's hear from one person, please.
I think initially, Madam said something that you can maybe not be the person that start the whole idea or brought up the idea, but then you can innovate it. I don't know if you get my point.
Let's hear
maybe
you.
somebody started it and then ended it at a point, but then you came in to at least bring more ideas and then innovate it. You can be an entrepreneur from that. So the fact that cars has already been existing and all of that doesn't necessarily mean that the fact that he didn't bring the whole idea of bringing cars into the system does not necessarily mean that he can be an entrepreneur.
So cars has been there. So if I buy a car and I give it to a driver to use it, I'm an entrepreneur. No, I'm a business person. You have not modified anything. You are just giving it as a service. You get it. So you becomes a business person, not an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Please give me 1 minute and we'll come and wrap up. 1 minute.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
It seems she's not online.
Yeah, sure. So, in the short term, Madam said we should wrap up. She's having issue with her laptop, so God willing, next week we will meet.
Okay.
So the class is ended. So all the materials we are going to go on.
Thank you. Bye.
It's even past time. We're supposed to close at 5.
Ano ni brother na ako pa.
Police